a Holovian singer who was born in Penacony and has risen to cosmic fame, an elegant and demure young lady. This time, she has been invited home by the family to grace everyone with song during the Charmony Festival. She can use the power of harmony to broadcast her music, manifesting resonance among not only her fans, but all manner of life forms. She describes her life as a song. The beginning of this song is dark and solemn. When she was but an infant, a Stellaron descended upon her hometown.
Grief, lamentation, prayer, those are the first sounds in my memory. We prayed for salvation through mournful songs, yet the eye of the gods never fell upon us.
The ever-smiling songstress falls into a rare moment of silence. So, would you say that is your musical inspiration?
I was far too young back then. I don't remember the majority of the songs we sang, but I still remember when the Stellaron began to devour the dreamscape. My mother held my brother and myself in her arms and tried to use her song to ease our fears.
Do you still remember the song your mother sang? Seeing the suffering in her expression, I planned to skip this question. However, she gave me an answer after a brief pause.
I couldn't hear. Every other sound around me was so loud and terrifying. I could only see my mother's lips moving. She held us tight as her chest raised and fell. My brother was next to me, holding my hand tight. Behind my mother, frozen stars came falling down quickly. Then, she melted into the vortex of the memory zone. My brother and I fell to the ground like birds with broken wings. If birds are destined to fall to the ground, why do they still insist on flying into the sky?
I did not reply. There was nothing I could say. This was not a question meant for me. What's more, the answer is already inside her heart. Fortunately, this sullen atmosphere did not last long. After we shared 2 cups of berry ice cream, she returned to her usual lively self. After the Stellaron disaster, the family offered aid to the survivors. She and her brother received protection and the finest education. It was at this moment that she gradually began to display an exceptional talent for music.
It's still the same taste as when I had it as a child. Back then, to preserve my voice, I could only eat ice cream secretly while my brother covered me,
she said as she placed the cup back down with satisfaction.
When a hobby becomes a job, it becomes a lot more difficult. I not only had to learn the science of singing, I had to learn instruments, composing, songwriting, etiquette. I thought about quitting many times, but with the help and encouragement of those around me, I managed to persevere.
She spoke of the first song she ever wrote. There is a special notation on the album cover for this song that reads, "Dedicated to all those that have lost hope." The inspiration for this song came from the universe's planet of dreams, Penacony.
A dream within a void. It is something that seems impossible. Dreams coming true in the wondrous memory zone. Back then, I held a naive hope that people who wandered lost and aimless like myself would be able to find a shelter, but...
She let out a sigh and turned to look out of the window. The heavy rain painted the streets a dull gray as children, wearing brightly colored raincoats, frolicked and played. She turned her head and solemnly added,
"But no matter how the world changes, my wishes will never change."
After the consecutive releases of her next 3 albums, her musical career gradually soared to its highest peak. Songs like "If I Can Stop One Heart From Breaking" and "On That Most Beautiful Day" swept the charts across the cosmos and became hugely popular singles. What no one could understand was why she chose this moment to retreat from the public eye. When she spoke of this time, she showed us all sorts of pictures she had taken back then. Among the ruins of war, she helped those who had lost everything to rebuild their homes. She built schools for children who had no chance to receive education. She went to unknown realms in search of songs that were about to fall into extinction. She locked her phone, sighed, and began to speak about why she made this decision.
At that time, I became less and less clear on my reason for singing. In the face of true disaster, songs have no use at all. Do we sing to placate those in power, or to cover up suffering and give people false hope?
As the final stop of this journey of hers, she returned to the site where the Holovians' homeland fell. The once miserable ruins had been covered with a fresh growth of green grass. Bathed in the gentle breeze and scent of flowers, she laid on the rugged rocks and watched as the sky's light shone through the clouds and illuminated the ground below.
I could not stop thinking about my mother's song. I always thought that it was a futile song because I could not remember how it sounded in the slightest, nor could it change the destruction that ensued. It wasn't until now that I realized that what the song conveyed was not the sound itself. I still remember my mother's heartbeat, my brother trembling beside me, the warmth of us three relying on each other. Even in the face of an immutable fate, if you can still sing out without a tremble in your voice, it will definitely be felt.
The pattering of the rain outside the window came to a halt as she fell deep into her memories of the time. Unfortunately, that enchanting silence was abruptly shattered by the ringing of a telephone. This is where our interview comes to an end. Miss Robin was required to head to Penacony immediately due to last-minute schedule alterations. Dear readers and friends, may we meet again in the Kingdom of Dreams. A year later, we received an invitation to Penacony to continue our previous interview. She seemed much more exhausted in our second meeting. Even her voice had become far more hoarse. This time, she adorned solemn family attire and seemed to behave with caution. However, she seemed as approachable as ever when we met. This time, we also met her older brother, an elegant leader. This is the only dream world in all of the cosmos, and the seat of the family. The family transformed a barren dreamscape into heaven on earth. Her brother took us through the detailed history of Penacony as she helped us acclimate to the world of dreams, kindly guiding us to try some dreamscape cuisine. We visited various scenic spots in the dreamland. Unfortunately, we were unable to carry out a detailed interview in such loud and crowded environments. Finally, we came to the Great Theater. In the upcoming Charmony Festival, she will sing upon this marvelous stage and share her song of harmony with the entire universe. Just when I thought this interview was about to come to an end, she looked at the magnificent theater and raised the question she had asked at the beginning of the interview.
Do you remember the question that I asked you before? Why do birds fly toward the sky? After I returned to Penacony, I thought long and hard about it.
She looked up into the dreamscape sky as artificial light filled the deep evening sky.
Perhaps birds are fated to fly as it is their dream, their home, and their irrevocable right.
She smiled off into the distance as she offered us an invitation.
In the future, there will be a grand performance here. I will perform a song that fulfills me like none other before. I hope that people will join their hands and raise them up together through my song. Even inside the world of a dream, light will always find places to shine through.
I don't know where it was she was looking, but it certainly wasn't the theater stage. So, which performance could it be that she was talking about? The only thing we can be sure of is that even in a place of luxury and indulgence, she has not given up on her conviction in the strong defending the weak. The faith has been woven throughout her whole life. Her bitter intro led to an exquisite chorus. Could it be that after the surging undercurrent of this interlude, what awaits us is the blooming of a glorious crescendo? Time flows through the mirror, metamorphosing the once inexperienced little girl into a seasoned songstress. She studied her reflection in the mirror. Time has altered all but her green eyes, which still remain as serene as a lake, as if recounting an unshakable faith. You seem in high spirits today.
Yes, after all, there's a very important performance.
Indeed, the Charmony Festival's rehearsal is about to start. Please head to the preparation room. She steps out from the dressing room, leaving behind the brilliant lights of the theater, fading into the distance.
My stage lies not here.
She closes her eyes, letting the night swallow her silhouette.
From the past to the present, my song has always been for those who have lost hope. Big brother, what's this? It's been so long since you sang with joy. I've built a stage for you, though it's a bit rudimentary. But the teacher thinks I'm not cut out for this.
Nonsense.
I think you sound amazing, and your dreams will definitely come true. You deserve to sing on a bigger stage.
Many years later, she stood on a dazzling stage, looking at the surging fans below, but lost herself for a moment. On the long journey of chasing dreams, she would always remember that trusting gaze and her first concert. No glamorous lights, no elaborate makeup, just a child building a stage to encourage another child to pursue their dreams.
Now, our dreams have come true. But are they still our dreams?
She tightened her grip on the microphone. Before the next song began, she didn't even have time to feel sad.